And I'm going to turn it over to my counselor. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big welcome, please.
Hello guys, thanks for having me out here tonight. We're going to go through all the hunt seat equitation patterns. We're going to start with the small fry, work our way to the walk trot, followed through by the rookie, the 13 and under, and then the 14 to 18 for the amateur select as well. So in every single pattern tonight, we're, like we said, our opponent is 20 feet off the point sign. We're going to enter through the chute, work our way down the fence, be at the cone, ready for the judges. Every pattern, the cone is on the left side of the rider for every pattern today. So starting with our small fry, we're going to walk forward approximately 3 horse lengths. We're going to trot, pick up the left diagonal to the midline. Midline runs the American flag pre-print sign down at the end, follow through. And we're going to pick up our right diagonal in a circle. Once we hit that midline center line, we're going to sitting trot. Come down all the way to our cone. We're going to stop. Do a half turn to the right beforehand. Back until our start cone. Once we hit the line of that start cone, the pattern is complete. Do we have any questions on the small fry, or do we need to see the small fry again? Anyone there? Yes. You stop shortly before the cone, you back into your feet. Anyone need to see the small fry again? All right, I think we're going to move on ahead to the walk trot pattern. So the same thing, everyone be entering through the alleyway. Be ready at the cone on your left. You're going to start the pattern with a sitting trot to and through the corner prior to center. So just a little bit before center, we're going to make that right corner turn. Trotting the right diagonal. Changing to the left. We're going to trot that left diagonal up and around the corner. After we make our corner, we slow to a forward walk. At the center line there, we're going to pick up the sitting trot. For this pattern, we stop even with the cone. Back approximately 1 horse length. We're going to run this one more time. Got a little bit here. All right. So we're losing battery power here on our microphone. So is there any questions on the walk trot patterns? All right, we're going to try to keep rolling along here. John is going to help us out here. She's going to ride the first rookie pattern for us. So we're going to start off left diagonal. About halfway up this line, we're going to change to the right diagonal. We get to the top center there, we're going to pick up the left lead. And where midline and center line cross, that's where we're going to do the lead change. Lead change is optional in this one. It can be a simple or flying lead change. Change there in the middle of the arena. I'm going to lope a right arc here at the top. Once we round this corner and get to the center, we're going to slow to a forward walk for approximately 1 horse length. Pick up the sitting trot. When we get even with this start cone, we're going to stop and back on horse length. On that, the pattern is complete. So the lines for the rookie, the 13 and under, 14 through 18, amateur and select are all the same lines. The rookie pattern is the only one where you have the option for the simple or flying lead change. So let's move on to our we're going to move on to our 13 and under pattern. 13 and under, obviously the same lines. We're picking up the left diagonal. We get the middle of this line. We're going to change diagonals. We get up to center, picking up the left lead. As we go through this left lead arc, kind of looking, finding the middle of that, we're going to break to a walk. Down to the walk for 1 to 2 horse lengths. We're going to pick up the right lead. Open this right lead, having a smooth corner. Find a straight line. Once you pass the center, then sitting trot. All the way down in line with our start cone. We're going to stop, we're going to back. Once the completion of the back, the pattern is complete. So that was our 13 and under pattern. Anyone have any questions on the 13 and under? So they did just say that for the pattern work, the judges are going to be sitting in the stands, the black tables. They'll have a flag, they'll wave you on when it's time to start. Like we said before, entering through the chute, be ready at the cone before the next horse is finished with their pattern. All right, so we're going to move on to the level 1 youth, 14 through 18, level 1 amateur, and the level 1 select. Now the amateurs and select, they show this pattern tomorrow. Same lines as previous patterns. The big question or topic, I guess, here that we've already had some feedback with is, what do we do with the left lead? The left lead canter through here is a lengthening of stride. It's not a hand gallop, it's not a run, it is a lengthening of stride. It is your option as the rider to address that in a full seat and stay seated, or to get into 2-point. That is up to the option of the rider and will be judged accordingly. But it is not a run, it's not a gallop, it is a lengthening of stride. So we're starting out. Left diagonal, same line. Once we get to the middle of this line, we're going to swap to our right diagonal. Get to that center line, picking up the left lead. Left lead for a few strides. Once we round our corner, we're going to start to build, lengthening the stride. Your option to stay full seated or 2-point. Once we round that corner, we're going to start to slow, collect that stride again. To the middle here, we're going to break to the walk. Pick up our right lead up and around for corner. Canter past the center line. Down to the sitting trot. Sitting trot all the way to the line of our start cone. Halt and back. Are there any questions on the select amateur 14 through 18 pattern?
How far off the wall should they be so the judges are going to be able to see that sitting trot?
So the distance off the wall, show your horse to your horse's ability, to your rider's ability. There's no right or wrong answer to that. As a showman, I'd be off the wall so the judges can see. We're not going to go through the middle of the thing, but we don't be hugging the rail like that. So that is up to you, the rider, the exhibitor, how judges will be in the stands for the pattern work. They will come into the arena for drill. Any other questions? I'd say the number one thing, lengthening the stride first. If you have a true lengthening of stride, how you manage that as a rider is up to you. If you that's the question. Show your horse the best of you, your horse's ability. One is not going to be penalized over the other. How you manage it, how you show it is you as the rider.